10 seconds remaining.
Shadow demon.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Foxley, and this is the quarterfinals of AoN League. Evo Esports versus All or Nothing.
Dire team pick.
Both of these teams have gone undefeated in first division, so it's going to be quite a brawl if I'm not mistaken. And it seems like Evo Esports does pick up the Shadow Demon and the Nyx Assassin. Nyx Assassin being an extremely popular pick lately with his 2-second stun on level 1. Also, All or Nothing with the Outer Titan, pretty standard pick, really strong sleep and overall extremely strong hero current meta. All or Nothing is running into the reserve time here, and I wonder why they're struggling to pick so much. Maybe Evo Esports has picked a hero that All or Nothing would like to pick. Also, AoN is playing with the reserve, so
Team banned.
so maybe they do not know exactly what type of heroes the reserve likes to play. Seems like it is going to be Skippy on the Winter Wyvern, Pods 5. They do ban the Lifestealer as well. Maybe suggesting that they do want to go quite a tanky board, maybe go for the Pudge off lane or something similar to that.
5 seconds remaining. Dire team banned.
Naga Siren does get banned. Naga also a hero you don't want to counter, but if someone does pick Naga Siren, you do have to use quite a lot of heroes to counter Naga Siren. Also, I do think it was rather likely that All or Nothing would pick Naga Siren because they do pick the Winter Wyvern, who is a counter for the Naga Siren. So basically, that at least gives a hint that All or Nothing wants to go towards an illusion direction. But Evo Esports is wise to All or Nothing's tricks, and they do ban the Naga.
Team banned.
Slark banned for All or Nothing, so they banned the Slark, they banned the Lifestealer, and it's definitely a pattern that's happening here at the moment. Both those heroes are good against tanky heroes. So Evo Esports should be picking up on the fact that All or Nothing definitely wants to pick a tanky hero, and the question is, what hero is that exactly, and is there something you can do about it? Because I mean, there's so many tanky heroes and so many of them are meta. There's Timbersaw, even Spirit Breaker as the roamer, and they do pick the Centaur Warrunner, so maybe suggesting that Evo Esports do think that All or Nothing wanted to pick Centaur Warrunner, considering they banned all the tank counters, so Evo Esports picking it themselves. All or Nothing still has the Bristleback as an option,
10 seconds.
though the Shadow Demon is pretty good against Bristleback.
5 seconds remaining.
And Evo Esports can even maybe... Oh, they don't have a support pick left, otherwise it would have been pretty good for them to pick a Witch Doctor, which is a pretty strong tank counter, and All or Nothing into the third pick now. Something gives me the idea they wanted to pick Centaur Warrunner, so maybe it's going to be a Sand King pick now, or... Oh, sorry, Sand King is banned. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what heroes are left for them to pick as tanks. I think Evo Esports played this pretty well. They did ban Sand King, picked Centaur Warrunner. Let me have a look. They could go Axe still. Axe would be pretty good. Underlord would be decent. Even Phoenix could be good. And if they're really feeling it, they can go for the patch. They do go for the Night Stalker, so that's going to be either a pos 3 Night Stalker or a pos 3 Outer Titan. Either way, not heroes you usually see as pos 3. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do play this Night Stalker. I'm going to guess it is a pos 3 Night Stalker, which is going to be quite interesting, to be honest. Not something I've seen a lot.
5 seconds remaining.
2 seconds left for Evo Esports to pick this pick. They do have reserve time though. They should pick a carry or a mid now. Or nothing banned. Quite a lot of carries, so it should be smart of Evo Esports to probably pick the mid now, I'm guessing, except if it's a very counterable mid that they are planning on picking. They could go for Juggernaut, I think. Yeah, Juggernaut's available. It's pretty strong this game. The magic immunity is going to help quite a bit. Though All or Nothing does have 2 disables that go through BKB with the Outer Titan ultimate and the Winter Wyvern ultimate. Pretty strong lineup so far from both teams. Not leaving the other team a lot to play with. And really good bans as well.
Dire team pick.
Gyrocopter. Yeah, that's a pretty decent pick. I have seen them pick it before. They do have a good Gyrocopter. It is gonna be good this game. They do have enough frontline with the Centaur War on it to have a Gyrocopter work this game. And they wouldn't have been able to pick other backline agility heroes like Terrorblade because of the Winter Wyvern. So I think the Gyrocopter is pretty good this game. And that's gonna leave All or Nothing with the duty to try and counter this Gyrocopter with only 30 seconds reserve time left. They are running quite deep into the reserve time now. 25 seconds left before they get a random. This should be a carry pick now for All or Nothing, and I think it's going to be Ursa. Monkey King, okay. Monkey King has the potential to be really strong. You just need to snowball early game with him. Not the best flash farm, not a hero you can easily get back into the game with if you have a rough start, but still, if you're feeling confident, Monkey King is good.
10 seconds.
I still think the Ursa would have been better just because of Centaur War on her.
5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
And that is a Lina ban from Evo Esports. Maybe they know that someone on All or Nothing plays Lina. Actually, I know they don't really play Lina, so maybe not the best ban. "10 seconds left in the reserve time for All or Nothing.
5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
And they do ban the Outward Devourer. Not a hero you ever want to lane against mid, especially if you can't pick the Wind Ranger, because Wind Ranger is one of the few heroes that can do decent against Outward Devourer. I'm gonna guess All or Nothing. Oh, they need to pick really quickly. It's gonna be awkward in mid. Oh no, they're gonna random, aren't they? 12 seconds left for All or Nothing. Really running deep into the reserve time now. It's getting pretty scary. 5 seconds left. I wonder if they realize how deep into the reserve time it is. 2 seconds. It's gonna be the awkward, and I think Tiny. Okay, Tiny mid. It's gonna be Tiny mid against who? Against who from Evo Esports? It could also be a Monkey King mid. Tiny can honestly be any position. That's what makes him such an interesting pick. He can be anything from pos 5 to pos 1. Evo Esports, 10 seconds left to pick a hero. They do have quite a lot of reserve time though, unlike All or Nothing. Also running quite deep into the reserve time is Evo Esports. They want a mid laner that's going to be able to dominate this Tiny or Monkey King mid. Either way, it is going to be a melee hero mid for All or Nothing, so Queen of Pain would be pretty good. And Storm would be good, but they have too much disables on the side of All or Nothing, so not exactly what you want. Buck could be decent, but again the disables are a little bit too much. I'm thinking Quap is the best pick here for Evo. Having a look at what other heroes they may be want to pick. Death Prophet could be good. And it's going to be Templar Assassin. So Templar Assassin, pretty decent pick. It does give them even more physical damage on the side of Evo Esports with the Gyrocopter and the Templar Assassin. So really going hard for the physical damage is the side of Evo Esports, and maybe All or Nothing can counter it if they buy quite a lot of armor. At the moment, let's look, what draft do I favor? I'm not really feeling the Tiny for All or Nothing. I'm also not really sure about the Templar Assassin pick for Evo Esports, but overall I would still say... I would have to say I do favor Evo Esports' draft this game, but I think it's rather even. It's pretty difficult to say whose draft is better, but I would say Evo Esports. Just because they do have that insane frontline with the Centaur Warrunner and a lot of backline damage with Gyrocopter and Templar Assassin, and then they do have the early game in the Shadow Demon and the Nyx Assassin to be able to create the space that those other two heroes need. Okay, let's hop right into the game. It's going to be Keo on the Monkey King, so that should suggest that it is going to be a safe lane Monkey King with the Tiny mid on Remedy. Tiny versus D2 in the mid lane. I think it's actually a pretty... I think Evo had a good opportunity to pick a hero like Necrophos or Queen of Pain that would have crushed Tiny mid, but they decided to go for the Templar Assassin, which is basically a melee hero. So I think it's actually a pretty even matchup, if not a matchup Tiny should be winning. Because Tiny does burn through the refraction with his new Avalanche that does do interval damage instead of one single damage burst. So Shadow Demon and Elder Titan has disconnected from the game. Seems like they are having some technical difficulties so far already into the first seconds of this game. Baron Biceps bottom lane does not have as much regeneration as you would usually expect an offlaner to have. He has Salve, he has some tangos, but no mangoes, only 3 tangos. So that would suggest that they do want to try and be a little aggressive in this bottom lane and not really just sustain themselves in this lane. They want to actually go for the kills here. As you can see, Elder Titan does have the Windlace as well for some extra chase opportunity. And Winter Wyvern, it is going to be Skippy on the Winter Wyvern. He on the other hand does have quite a lot of regeneration for a safe lane. He does have the tangos for, he has 2 clarities, and he does have the mango compared to Keo, who has 6 tangos, so quite a lot of regeneration for AoN in this top lane. No salves though, but they do have enough sustain, I would say. Centaur Warrunner and Nyx Assassin have a bit more of traditional items for an off lane. They do have the Enchanted Man. They have quite a lot of regeneration on both of them. 6 tangos and a salve. Templar Assassin, he does have the Observer Ward, which he is going to try to place mid for himself, and or nothing might spot this if Templar Assassin tries to ward a little bit too optimistically. And that's going to be another pause. Skippy now disconnecting. He does reconnect to the game, and yeah, that's going to be him reconnecting. His game froze. Templar Assassin does play it smart, and he does go into the fog before placing the ward, assuring that no one on All or Nothing will be able to spot that ward placement. Shadow Demon has the other ward for the bottom lane, so the off lane is not going to have a ward, for the start at least. Monkey King does shift into courier form in order to get that bonus move speed. Quite a lot of bonus move speed, by the way. 380, that's 100 bonus move speed. Pretty insane. Baron Biceps and Ski Hound both looking to maybe contest this bottom rune. They are quite tanky. They don't have the Eco Stomp though, and it seems like they might decide to rather cancel. And Evo Tatsu is actually going to try to contest the top rune here. He does do damage onto Ski Hound. Ski Hound does not have the Eco Stomp, so it's going to be a click war, and Tatsu is going to be able to get that bounty rune. Really good contestation there from Tatsu, and it seems like Tatsu is going to be able to escape. Ski Hound is dropping pretty low. He doesn't have a lot of regeneration, like I said, so now it's low HP because he had to try and get his team's rune, and that's a really good start there for the side of Evo. Remedy in this middle lane, he does already have the Quilling Blade, so it should be, I think it should almost be a tiny favored matchup in this middle lane, if I'm not mistaken. Top lane, Keo already has stacks, so that's going to be able to do quite a lot of harassment onto Fireheart along with Skippy's Winter Wyvern. Middle lane, Evo does get the deny off. Let's have the last hits and denies up here. Keo again getting the stacks. He's Monkey King versus 2 melee heroes. This is a pretty good matchup for Monkey King, and one he'd be very happy with. Evo should be calling for the Shadow Demon to come top now, since they can't do anything against this Monkey King in the top lane if he's gonna get stacks the entire time. Bottom lane, Ski Hound very aggressive onto APK, almost kills him to be honest, and APK is going to be forced to use that regeneration. Tatsu forced to use his Rocket Barrage. Ski Hound does use the W to do some extra damage, plus 40 damage now on Ski Hound. Does get back 4 now. Tatsu. AoN being very aggressive onto Tatsu's Gyrocopter here in the top lane, and Skippy seems like he is going towards the camp now to do a stack and pull. And Tatsu in the bottom lane, losing quite a lot of HP, already used his, I think he had a salve, he already used it. Doesn't have a lot of regeneration left, and it's going to be a pretty difficult lane for Gyrocopter soon if it keeps going like this way. Remedy mounts through the refraction of D2, does quite a lot of damage. Under the tower is D2 at the moment, and Remedy almost gets a solo kill there. Meanwhile, Monkey King, top lane, they do get the first blood onto Monkey King with that Fireheart Massa combo, the Nyx Assassin and the Centaur Warrunner onto the Monkey King. Monkey King still, he has had a pretty decent lane. That shouldn't dishearten him too much. D2 in the middle lane is dropping pretty low, but he does get the salve in the courier, so that's gonna bring him right back to where he wants to be. Ski Hound, no more regeneration items left. He's gonna have to get a tango from the Night Stalker or regenerate some other way, since he can't lane with this amount of HP. Middle lane, Tiny is winning by quite a bit, 7 more last hits than the Templar Assassin. Bottom lane, Tatu aggressive onto Skion. Skion is going to get banished. Actually save Skion for now, and Skion is going to try his best to run out. He does have 4 1 charges, so maybe that should be enough to save him. He is going to survive for now, as the stacks from the Shadow Demon does not hit, and that was very scary for the side of AoN. Maybe that egg from the Shadow Demon was not exactly what you want on the side of Evo Esports. Top lane, Skippy is going pretty deep onto Massa. They do have the creep wave to back them up though. Remedy tried to do something in the middle lane, didn't quite work out though. And bottom lane, it seems like Skihound does go back to base, which means that Baron Biceps is on his lonesome here, and Tatu is going to get the nuke off onto Baron Biceps with the full duration. Baron should be careful here. 1 stack of the Shadow Poison onto Baron now, and it should be 2 now. He doesn't manage to dodge it, and that's going to be a kill for the Shadow Demon, proving that Baron Biceps does need that Outer Titan with him in lane to survive. ET in the middle lane, seems like he does want to aggress onto this Templar Assassin. Templar does have a ward here though, and it seems like Tiny is going to get the toss back onto Skion with the Echo Stomp. That's a very good combo. D2 still running for now. He does run into AoN's jungle, and that's a pretty good juke going onto the high ground and back to the low ground, and Mata is here to ensure that AoN will not get a kill with that rotation. So good, well played there from AoN, but not quite enough to get that kill onto D2. Still though, Remedy aggressive onto Skion. They do the same combo again, and D2 is dropping pretty low now. He does have 2 refraction charges with Massa to back him up here, and D2 not feeling comfortable in this lane at all, but still he does get the salve off, and he is gonna... Oh, that's a salve cancel from Remedy in the middle lane. So really uncomfortable lane now for D2 in the middle lane. But still, he's doing pretty well. He did catch up in last hits with the Tiny. They do have the same amount of farm now. Skihound and Baron Biceps currently have a free lane in this bottom lane, as both of the players for Evo do rotate to the bottom shrine for some regeneration. Maz on the top lane, along with the Centaur Warrunner, should be a little bit careful here, as that Winter Wyvern does a lot of damage with his percentage damage Q. Fireheart being aggressive onto Skip. He does get the hits off, but gets back as Kyo does get the stacks. Tatu meanwhile in the bottom lane is going for the Wraith Band. Remedy, gank stop lane with the haste room. He does manage to toss back Fireheart, but if they don't get the skill, this is going to be big for the side of Evo. It seems like the moment like Fireheart is safe for the time being, and is going to be able to get the salve off. So that's a Remedy rotation, a mid rotation from AoN, and it's not going to be able to do anything for the time being. And they also don't have the toss yet, not enough mana, and that's pretty big for the side of Evo, not dying there. While the Templar Assassin now has 13 lost hits more than the Tiny.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So very unfavorable there for the side of AoN, and D2 is pushing the mid tower now as well. Mid tower already down to 65% HP. AoN forced to use the glyph of fortification there. Tatu in the bottom lane is pretty low though. He should be careful. Yeah, Shadow Demon is busy pulling the camp. Baron Biceps seems like he does want to be aggressive here. He is going towards the sideline so long. And D2 just completely out farming the Tiny now after that rotation in the top lane from Tiny. That was a high risk, high reward play from the Tiny, and unfortunately there was no reward. Top lane, Fire Hard does drop pretty low, but I don't think they do have the damage to kill one of them here, as Nyx Assassin does have the spikes Carapace. Remedy still being aggressive on the Tiny, he is busy ganking the bottom lane now. This time they really should get the kill. They can't have this Tiny rotating without getting kills. He does have the Quelling Blade, is going to Quelling Blade through to the bottom lane. That's going to be an immediate Nyx Assassin teleportation as Remedy does get the toss. Tatsu really low, one more hit should do it from Baron Biceps. He should get this hit off, and that's going to be a kill onto the Shadow Demon at least. And Tatsu here, it has to fall for AoN for this to be worth it for AoN, and Tatsu is going to fall to Baron Biceps. Unfortunately, Tiny does not get one of those 2 kills, but at least that is a successful gank, killing the Gyrocopter. Nightstalker does use his ultimate. He does want to go on Massa as well. He does fly over the trees at the moment, and it seems like he is going to get the kill onto Massa as well and force a rotation. Okay, that's not a rotation, that is just Gyrocopter TPing back to his lane, but still well played there from AoN, getting 3 desperately needed kills. And the Shrine will assure the Tiny is back to full HP and mana. Still though, it's debatable whether that was worth it or not for the side of AoN, as Evo did get the mid tier 1, which is a really big tower to get. Gives them quite a lot of map control.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And Nightstalker really wanting to be aggressive with this 20 seconds of nighttime that is left, but it seems like the Gyrocopter is gonna fall back in time. Remedy onto Massa. Massa does use the spiked Carapace. He's still going to take the damage though with the Avalanche, and Massa dropping pretty low now. Winter Wyvern does have his W off of cooldown. If he can manage to hit that, it's going to be a kill, but it seems like Nyx Assassin is going to escape. Fireheart out of position now, and he does not have the Shrine, so this is a kill onto the Centaur Warrunner. Maybe being a little bit too aggressive trying to save his support there. Skiaun dropping pretty low, but now Tatsu might be out of position as he's actually still chasing the Nightstalker as well. He's chasing everyone at the moment, being extremely aggressive on this Gyrocopter. And that's going to be D2 with a haste tune, catching the outer Titan between his towers, and quite an easy kill for him right there. The rotations from Tiny was actually pretty decent. As you can see, he is more or less the same net worth as Templar Assassin, so it did help enough. Bottom lane, attempted stomp onto the Gyrocopter, not gonna land though, so Baron Biceps just goes back into the lane to last hit. 2 heroes rotating from the side of Evo to the bottom lane now, including an invis Nyx Assassin. They do spot out Skippy though. Skippy might be out of position here, not realizing that there's a Nyx Assassin right beneath him, and Massa is thinking about it. Not exactly sure what they want to do here, but Evo does have all the information they need, and that's going to be a Centaur Warrunner ultimate as well as the Gyrocopter ultimate. Gyrocopter dropping pretty low, as does Nightstalker. Nightstalker trying to escape at the moment. Tatsu, you're going to fall here, and that's going to be a Tatsu kill onto the side of AoN. Skippy dropping pretty low. He does have that physical damage immunity with his heal. He's going to die here, but at least he makes a little bit of space. Remedy also rotating in, but he gets stunned off. He is going to use the Avalanche onto Templar Assassin. Templar Assassin now is getting tossed, but he has so much HP still, even after the Avalanche toss combo. D2, they are trying to kite around him for the time being. D2 does have the refraction up again in a second, and it's going to be enough for him to stay alive for at least a little longer. Gyrocopter does have the flak cannon now, is going to probably use it, yeah, and he does have the rocket barrage as well. A lot of damage onto Nightstalker. They do get the kill onto Nightstalker, but this would be worth it for AoN if they do manage to get the kill onto the Gyro as well. That's going to be an Avalanche ultimate for the Gyrocopter cooldown, and it's going to be Tatsu trying his best to juke into the tree lines. I think it might even be enough here to escape. Tatu standing still for the time being. They do manage to catch him off though, and that's going to be a kill onto the gyrocopter as well. Avalanche onto 2. APK dropping pretty low now. That's going to be Skippy using his W. And that's going to be a favorable fight there for the side of All or Nothing. Ski Hound is looking for Massa, but Massa does have that invis, so Ski Hound decides to get back.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And things calm down. Quite an interesting fight there, and it does allow AoN to get a really aggressive ward up here, and even see that Massa did place an observer ward right there. And it seems like AoN does want to pressure this bottom tower, but won't be able to, as Tatu is rotating back in, as is Shadow Demon and Nyx Assassin. Top lane though, Kyo does see Fireheart on the Centaur Warrunner between their towers, and he wants to be aggressive onto Fireheart, but Fireheart is gonna juke it out. Top lane, Kyo in between Massa and the Centaur Warrunner. He is going to get stunned up, and this might be enough damage to kill Kyo, but Remedy does rotate in with the Avalanche. It's going to be enough to save him, and now AoN re-engages onto the Centaur and the Nyx Assassin, and they do get both those kills without even losing the Monkey King.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Where's my pension?
This sustains, gold remains.
Baron Biceps pretty deep here. Is gonna get spotted out by Templar Assassin Ultimate. And that's another very aggressive ward for the side of All or Nothing, and it seems like Evo Esports does not know about either of these wards. Sorry, I had to go AFK quick, and that's going to be a kill onto the Templar Assassin. Remedy does get the toss off onto Massa. Massa is going to fall as well. That's 2 kills for the side of All or Nothing. Bottom lane though, Skippy is getting went on by Tatu. Tatu does decide to get back, as there's 2 rotations forced from the side of All or Nothing. Skippy for some reason not in any of these fights, and I think you can see that he's a sub for the team. Remedy is going to blink onto Tatu, and that's going to be a kill onto the gyrocopter. Yeah, at the moment Skippy not in any of the fights. You can actually see that he's not, that he is a substitute. No offense. But he is going to have to start joining all the fights, as he is the POS 5. There's no real excuse for him to not be in the fights, except if they do want to get farm onto the Wyvern.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Baron Biceps middle lane is going to be able to do enough damage here to get the kill onto the middle tier 1. So AoN finally does get the mid tier 1 tower. And this is quite a big swing for All or Nothing at the moment. 5k net worth lead. They were struggling quite a lot in the beginning, but now they want to go onto Tatu bot. It is a Monkey King that's spotting him out, and it seems like Tatu is aware that All or Nothing is moving onto him, but not exactly aware how close they are, and that's going to be a cooldown. It's not going to be enough damage to kill anyone though, but Tatu is taking quite long to fall there, but they do get the kill onto the gyrocopter eventually. Remedy still being very aggressive. He might get this kill onto the Shadow Demon if he spots him out. Or he's just looking for someone to rotate in between the towers. The side of Evo is going to spot out the Tiny now, as they do have a ward here. And top lane, look at how far Centaur Warrunner managed to push out. It's going to be a sleep onto Fireheart. Fireheart does use his ultimate to try and escape. It's not going to be enough though. And that's just Centaur Warrunner trying to cut the creeps. Not exactly working out for him. Does get quite a lot of damage down to this tower and forces a lot of rotations for the side of AoN. So debatably worth it. Outer Titan is farming up for this Rod of Atos. He is pretty farmed for a pos 4. And it seems like he might get this Rod of Atos before 20 minutes if he keeps farming now. And Outer Titan only needs... okay, no, he needs quite a lot. He still needs 700 gold for his Rod of Atos, but he is moving pretty close to it now. And look at all this defensive walls that Evo Esports are forced to place. Gyrocopter not feeling safe inside of his own jungle. Is feeling safe now with the wards though, but still, forcing so many wards is all or nothing.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And bottom lane, it seems like AoN does want to push this tier 1 tower bottom, and it seems like they are going to be able to do it with that Night Stalker in the night. Skihound manages to de-ward one of the wards here for the side of Evo Esports, thinking that's the real Centaur Warrunner. As you can see, the real one standing still. And they really want to go into this fake Centaur Warrunner. They do use the Winter Wyvern Q, and they do realize that it is just an illusion. Top lane, D2 and Massa setting up a little bit of a trap here, but it's not going to work, as All or Nothing has complete vision over what's happening here. And D2 doing a really good job farming so well. He has 2,500 gold at the moment, 177 last hits. Leading by quite a bit, and no one on the side of All or Nothing is farming, really farming. Kyo does have 111 last hits still though, nothing compared to the farm on Evo. But they do have more net worth, so these fights are working for them. Skihound pretty deep there, does get pinged out by the side of Evo Esports, and he also does realize there is a sentry ward as the creeps attack him from the side of Evo. Fireheart now in the bushes, he does have the blink dagger. Also Massa spotting out Baron Biceps. What is Evo going to do with this information that they are getting? Are they just going to wait for AoN to push the tier 2 so they can defend it? This could be a 5-man hoof stomp here. They were pretty grouped now. And it seems like Evo does have all the information they need, but is it going to be enough for them to win the fight? As All or Nothing just group up to push this middle tier 2. Quite a lot of damage from Remedy onto the tower. He waits for his Echo Saber every time before he attacks the tower. And that's going to be a kill onto the rocket. Meanwhile, D2, they are just creating space for D2 as he is pushing the bottom tier 1, and okay, seems like Remedy does jump onto APK. They are going to get the kill onto the Shadow Demon. That's a Shadow Demon buyback. Night Stalker out of position here. Gyrocopter cooldown, but he's in between all of them, and he's going to die there. Double kill for Baron Biceps, as well as a buyback forced. Templar Assassin still just pushing the bottom tier 2. AoN knows this, and that's why they're going to keep pushing the tier 3 here. D2 not TPing back still, even through all of that. And Kyo now, along with Remedy and the rest of his team, is just pushing this tier 3, and that's going to be a tier 3 22.5 minutes into the game. They might even go for this Rax as well. They are pushing for the Rax, even with Ski Hound being quite low HP, and they do get back 5 seconds for Sensor Warrunner and Gyrocopter to respawn, and it's gonna be enough for All or Nothing to get back. Skippy now out of position. He should just try to escape himself. He didn't have to try and save the Night Stalker, and that's gonna be 2 kills for the side of Evo, but more than worth it for the side of All or Nothing, as they do get the ranged Rax mid. Templar Assassin is leading in net with quite a bit, and he does have the damage to be able to take down Roshan with his team, and that's exactly what they're gonna do, and AoN seems like they have no idea that's what's happening at the moment. And it's gonna be a Roche for the side of Evo Esports. So quite a good call there for the side of Evo, getting that Roshan down. Outer Titan meanwhile being cheeky in the bottom lane, pushing out quite a bit and then hiding in the tree line. He wants to see if he can catch anyone from Evo pushing out too far. Not gonna happen though. And that's an Aegis and a BKB now for Templar Assassin. Huge power shift from Evo Esports. This could be enough for them to win a fight easily. Tiny though does have the double damage bottled up. One of the best heroes to have a double damage on, since his base damage is so insane.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning.
And All or Nothing still trying to get control of this Evo jungle. They are playing quite deep in it. And Shadow Demon does get pinged out by... He is going to get stomped here, and that's going to be enough for Nyx Assassin to use his spiked carapace. Everyone from All or Nothing waiting on this high ground, while Templar Assassin is pushing out top, so maybe All or Nothing can manage to get a fight here while Templar Assassin is down. And that's gonna be Outer Titan trying to spot out Fireheart. Barely gonna miss him though. And they do not spot out Fireheart for the time being. That was actually a ping from Remedy, so maybe they did spot him out there with that final Earth Spirit, and that's going to be enough for Fireheart to get back now, and All or Nothing should be able to get this tier 2 bottom, as they do have a catapult. It is going to be a Gyrocopter TPing in though, so maybe Evo wanting to be aggressive onto All or Nothing, but All or Nothing is going to fall back with that teleportation.
Double damage!
The hidden ones have blessed me.
Tiny, the bottle did time out and he did use his double damage, so that's not going to be used in a fight. And Monkey King farming up for his BKB, he did finally farm it up, and he's going to go for the Mionin next. So maybe All or Nothing does see this as a power spike, and they'll probably wait for the side of Evo Esports to make a move, as Evo Esports is the team that does have the Aegis of Immortality, so they kind of have to make the first move here. And it seems like All or Nothing is just waiting for them to make a bad move here and wait out the Aegis before they do anything further. Tiny still not a lot of last hits. He's just been going for kills this entire game. He has less than half the last hits of the Templar Assassin, and that's going to be a smoke. Next Assassin does ping out the smoke though, so they do know or nothing is smoked in the jungle, and it seems like all they want to do is just not take this fight now. Gyrocopter and Centaur Warrunner feeling pretty safe in the top lane, farming out AoN's jungle, but AoN might actually be able to catch them off here. It seems like they're not going to go that deep. And Keo, he wants to go on the Gyrocopter, not being aware that there's a Centaur Warrunner here as well. Centaur does TP out, Gyrocopter does start the TP. Is Keo ooh, not going to be able to cancel the TP. Almost cancels it. That would have been a huge pick off. Gyrocopter not having his BKB yet, so that could have been a kill. Skihound in the middle lane is trying to be aggressive onto the Shadow Demon with his Astral Spirit. And that's going to be Templar Assassin finally losing his Aegis of Immortality, so War Nothing might use that timing to try and go for a fight now, since they do have the BKB timing up on the Monkey King. Or they might wait for Tiny to get it as well. He just needs a little bit of gold. This camp should do it, and then that's enough gold for him to get the BKB. Now 2 BKBs up for the side of All or Nothing, but the same could be said for Evo Esports. So finally the BKB fights are going to come through 29 minutes into the game. And All or Nothing already grouping up towards the middle lane. And Skippy now following his team a lot better than he did at the start of the game. He does not look like he's a substitute anymore. He is a sub though, so it's fine if he looks like a sub, but he does not look like one. And that's going to be €5 for the side of All or Nothing, pushing the bottom tier 2, and it doesn't seem like Evo wants anything to do with this tower, as they're just going to leave it for All or Nothing to push down. And Centaur Warrunner pushing pretty deep in the middle lane. He's gonna get slept. Okay, he does use his ultimate to escape for the time being, and it is gonna be enough for him to use his Blink Dagger as well. Maybe Outer Titan needing to do a little bit more damage, so he can't use his Blink Dagger there. And that's a pretty successful push from the Centaur Warrunner, as he does force 3 rotations and manages to get out. All or Nothing are looking towards the middle lane now though, and Fireheart does stomp onto the Winter Wyvern. Winter Wyvern dropping pretty low. Keo is gonna use his Wukong's command onto Massa and Fireheart, both of them dropping pretty low now. Tatsu getting tossed into the Wukong's command, and that's gonna be enough for him to get the kill onto Tatsu as well. Evo is gonna D2 is going to get back for now, and Remedy is going to get the pick off onto the Shadow Demon as well, and that's going to be 3 kills for the side of All or Nothing. Maybe a little bit of a overconfident initiation there for the side of Evo. And now All or Nothing are going to push towards mid. Evo does have the buyback on the Shadow Demon, and they are going to use it. They do have a buyback on the Gyrocopter as well. 20 seconds before the Gyrocopter respawns, and that's going to be Remedy using his Avalanche onto D2. D2 does use his BKB. Baron Biceps dropping really low there. It's going to have to fly out for now. Keo also dropping low. D2 does so much damage. Both of them trying to escape. It seems like Monkey King is not going to be able to make it. AoN does have 2 buybacks though. Not going to use it as they are pretty deep. Skihound, they are going to try and chase down Skihound as well as Remedy. Yeah, Remedy does get caught, and it seems like he's going to BKB TP out, and that's going to mean that both him and Skihound do TP out, since they did decide to focus towards Remedy. And Remedy even TPing towards the top shrine so he can get this farm and push out the top lane a little bit. Bottom lane, it seems like Centaur Warrunner might get Baron Biceps here. Baron being pretty low HP, and that's going to be a kill onto Baron Biceps. Not exactly sure what happened there.
Dire's middle tower is under
And that's going to be a tip onto Baron Biceps. Little bit of a toxicity coming through, but I like it. I like seeing it. Some banter, some trash talk.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Centaur Warrun has been an extreme nuisance for All or Nothing this game, forcing so many rotations, getting so many unexpected pickoffs, and yeah, having a really good game. Ooh, All or Nothing, really expecting Evo to roast, using 2 abilities while going in. Rather low cooldown abilities, so still nothing detrimental. And Skippy does de-ward the Templar Assassin ultimate, so now Evo has no idea what's going on inside the Roche pit. And Evo do ping out the fact that Winter Wyvern wards there, or do they? Actually, I don't think they did see him warding there. They are going to de-ward. Oh, they barely get the Observer ward as well in range with that Sentry ward. And it seems like D2 is going to run right into the Roche, but no. And maybe it's just a little bit of a bait. Maybe he wants All or Nothing to know. And look how fast he mounts Roshan. He has so much farm with that Crystallis and the Desolator. And maybe Evo might be able to get this Roche. All or Nothing really needs to contest. The Skippy is going to fly right into the Roche. But he is going to get the ultimates off onto Roshan though. It's still worth it for him, as it is going to be the information they need. Massa Invis does spot out Remedy, doesn't spot out anyone else for the side of All or Nothing though, as they are playing on the high ground for the time being. Outer Titan does get stunned up by Nyx Assassin, spiked Carapace, and that's going to be Kyo using his ultimates onto Tatu. Tatu does have the BKB, both of them use the BKBs, and Kyo, Wukong's command, doesn't hit anyone anymore, and he's going to be forced to walk out of it. Remedy, Avalanche onto 3, BKB, a lot of cleave coming through. Baron Biceps is going onto D2 at the moment. D2 does have the BKB active, and that's going to be D2 chasing the Winter Wyvern as well. Remedy does get the toss onto Massa. Massa is going to get saved by his spiked Carapace, and that's a double kill for D2. Getting a kill onto Baron Biceps as well. It seems like there is a rocket coming towards Tiny, and Tiny is too far for them to get that kill. And now Evo might look towards finishing this Roche, and it doesn't seem like Kia wants to use his buyback here. I think he would have used it already if he was interested in using it. Remedy, really aggressive though. He might blink into Roche, but yeah, he does use his tree toss, and that's going to be Centaur Warrunner using his hoof stomp onto Remedy. Remedy out of position now, dropping pretty low. He does have his stun. He is going to toss out. Big ultimate from Skippy. Huge Winter Skirts. That's going to be onto 3, but it's not going to be enough as Gyrocopter does come in from the backline. It's going to be enough for him to kill Skippy. And D2 should be able to finish off Roshan now. All or Nothing doesn't have anything more to say in this Roshan fight. And that's going to be another Aegis onto Templar Assassin. Second Aegis now for Templar Assassin. Unfortunately, that Skippy ultimate doesn't have the follow-up for them to kill the rest of the heroes. Maybe with a Monkey King buyback it would have been enough. But Kyo not thinking it's worth it right there to use his buyback. And D2 doing a really good job this game, almost solo carrying his team, and just as much credit to his team for making so much space for the Templar Assassin to allow him to get this huge amount of farm that he has. Baron Biceps does have the Skull Basher now, so it is going to be a stun through the BKB TP out. And that Nyx Assassin spiked Carapace is just so strong. Every single fight it seems like it saves him, and I think it does save it quite a bit. Almost uses it as a shallow grave, something to just save him just before he's going to die. And for the first time since after laning stage, it seems like Evo does have the net worth lead now. And Templar Assassin almost has his level 25 talent, where he does get a 1.5 second bash with Maud. Not even a bash at that point, that's just a stun. Yeah, that should also be a power spike for Evo. And I do not think that All or Nothing has the late game yet. I mean, Tiny is pretty strong. With his Aghanim Scepter, he is able to turn a team fight quite easily, but not easily, but quite proficiently.
All mine.
Winter Wyvern with the gold per minute talent is looking pretty juicy as a support. Does have the Glimmer Cape and the 4-staff. So a lot of items to try and save his team. It seems like Tiny does have his Aghanim Scepter now. That means he does not have the buyback. Keo still does have the buyback though. He's going for enough surplus to get this Assault Cuirass on top of his buyback. And now Evo look like they are the team grouping up, and All or Nothing is the team that's split up across the map trying to get farm, as Evo is trying to go for this tier 3 top with the Aegis on Templar Assassin and the cheese on Gyrocopter. So essentially two Aegises from the side of Evo. Monkey King teleportation will be enough for Evo to fall back for now, at least until they do get another creep wave. And Keo, maybe a little bit out of position here, is going to get rocketed up here, and that's the tree toss from Tiny, doing quite a lot of damage onto Tatsu. Not enough though, as Evo are still going to pressure the tier 3 tower. The tier 3 tower for All or Nothing has dropped down to 27% HP now.
Radiant's bottom shrine is under attack.
And top lane, D2 still wanting to pressure this tower from All or Nothing. Remedy gonna use that tree toss again, and it's doing quite a lot of damage. That's gonna be a Winter Wyvern ultimate, and the Shadow Demon Disruption does counter the Wyvern ultimate. Wukong's command onto 5 euros. That's a big fight for the side of All or Nothing. Templar Assassin is gonna respawn here, but D2 out of position now. They might kill him twice here, as D2 is forced to use the Hurricane Pike defensively, and that's gonna be an instant bash onto D2. Super unlucky, and the BKB TPO does not work for D2 this time around, and that's gonna be a kill onto D2. So very well played for the side of All or Nothing, winning that high ground defense even with the Aegis of Immortality from D2. Very huge Winter's Curse there, the disruption enough to save him for the time being, but still the Winter Curse does group them up and does help Monkey can get a really strong Wukong's command off. And now in the middle lane, Gyrocopter being over aggressive, being out of position, and that's gonna be kill onto the Gyrocopter without a buyback. Templar Assassin forced to buyback as Gyrocopter does not have one. Nyx Assassin, he is probably not going to use his buyback now, as he is able to just wait. Gyrocopter, 1.5 minutes left before he can buy back. And that's 2 catapults for the side of All or Nothing in the bottom lane. They are going to decide to push this lane. Double damage now for Remedy. Look at this tower, it's going to melt as soon as the glyph of fortification goes off. But Remedy not being too aggressive here, he is just staying at the back line of Keo, not wanting to make the same mistake as Evo. Boundless Strike onto the Shadow Demon wall, hold him back for the time being. Remedy with the double damage just melts the barracks. Baron Biceps, maybe a little DPA does fall pretty low. That's going to be a stun onto Baron Biceps. He does have the BKB to save him though. And that's going to be Keo getting the kill onto APK. APK does have the buyback though. Tiny does have a tree again, and that's going to be enough for him to mount the barracks. Baron does go onto D2, forces the BKB from D2, and D2 is going to get the kill onto Baron Biceps. That's a huge initiation from Firehot, but the defensive Wukong's command is doing it for all or nothing at the moment. Skihound is pretty low now. He's going to go for the racks for the time being, and it seems like he knows he's going to die as he is just trying to mount down that barracks. Remedy does BKB, get the racks, and TP's out. Oh, and the Maud Bash, level 25 talent, proving to be too strong as Tiny is not going to be able to TP out there. Yeah, that level 25 talent from Templar Assassin is pretty ridiculous. And no one on the side of All or Nothing is level 25 yet. If Monkey King gets it, that's going to be plus 100 armor or plus 1 ring, both extremely strong level 25 talents. And All or Nothing does have buyback on the Winter Wyvern and on Keo. It seems like Remedy is going to use his buyback for now, as he does sense that Evo does want to push this middle tier 3. D2 top lane, 1 hit, entire creep wave, balanced stuff, and the back door for some reason is not on at the moment, and that's going to be a tier 3 tower for the side of Evo without any punishment from the side of All or Nothing. Well played there from Templar Assassin. Gyrocopter going for the Satanic now. He does need to have quite a lot of surplus before he can have the Satanic and the buyback though, so it should still be quite a while before we see that. And that's a lot of pings coming through from Remedy, really wanting to go on that Centaur Warrunner. Or actually telling Skippy to be careful, he is gonna die there if he overextended there. And that's a lot of pings in the middle lane. Remedy trying to jump on the Gyrocopter, but Gyrocopter does juke it out in time. That's going to be a DD onto the Gyrocopter as well as a BKB forced. So good BKB forced there from All or Nothing. BKB has dropped down to 6 seconds now for Gyrocopter and 6 seconds for the Templar Assassin as well. 5 seconds for the Tiny and 6 seconds for the Monkey King. So this is going to be the shortest durations BKB is possible pretty soon. Gyrocopter does manage to farm that middle lane without dying. Still has the double damage, which is going to help him farm quite a bit for the time being. And AoN spots out Roche. That's a quick Roche respawn, and maybe Evo won't expect this, as there's no wards for Evo either, and Skihound is showing in the middle lane, so they won't expect this Roche. And I think this is going to be a free Roche for All or Nothing. Yeah, everyone on Evo just chilling in the base at the moment, waiting for All or Nothing to push them, but it's not gonna happen as they are busy Roshing. Oh, and the Radiant scan does come through. Is it in time though, as they are moving towards the Roche, but I think it's gonna be too late, as Monkey King does have his ultimate. And that's gonna be an Aegis and an Aghanim Scepter onto the Monkey King. Aghanim Scepter for Monkey King, not sure what it does. Spawns a monkey soldier near you at regular okay, it spawns those stone things every 2 seconds, I think. At regular intervals. It doesn't say, so I think it's like every 2 seconds or something like that. Every 4 seconds. Okay, every 4 seconds it gets a monkey soldier. Nice. All or Nothing trying to push out all 3 lanes now before they go for the next siege. They are most likely going to go for a siege with the fact that they do have Aegis of Immortality. Quite a huge power spike now with that Aghanim's Blessing. Top lane though, Centaur Warrunner does manage to blink out in time, but that could have been pretty scary.
Radiant's top shrine is under attack.
And or nothing, playing it safe, going for the shrines for the time being.
Radiant's top shrine has fallen. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And now AoN taking the final tier 2. Is the top tier 2, and they are going to try and get mega creeps here as they are pushing the top lane. Evo readying themselves up for this defense, and let's have a look at the buybacks. It seems like 2 heroes on the side of Evo have buybacks. Only the Centaur Warrunner and the Gyrocopter have buybacks at the moment, so all or nothing can maybe win the game here if they play this really well. Monkey King is pretty deep here. He does have the Aegis, but he is going to drop pretty low. Still fighting though, and the side of Evo does know he does have the Aegis of Immortality, so not committing too deep for that Monkey King kill. And he's going to be healed up back to almost full with that Winter Wyvern third ability. BKB for Kyo. He does use the Wukong's command as well, and that's going to be enough for him to... Tatsu dropping, going pretty deep onto Skippy. They really want to get the Skippy kill, and Fireheart very deep as well. He does get the hoof stop onto the Night Stalker, but Night Stalker seems like he's going to be safe here. And that's going to be a Winter's Curse onto the Nyx Assassin. Nyx Assassin is going to fall there. Baron Biceps does use his BKB, but he is dropping pretty low. And they do get the kill onto the Gyrocopter as well. Both Gyrocopter and Centaur Warrunner buy back. Avalanche from Tiny. APK dropping pretty low. D2 almost gets the kill onto Skion, but that's a heal from the Winter Wyvern, saving Skihound. And that's going to be mega creeps for All or Nothing, and that's going to be the Q for All or Nothing to get back here if they can. Fireheart blinking really deep now, and now All or Nothing is going to re-engage onto Fireheart. Fireheart extremely tanky, by the way. He's not even dying somehow. Tatsu really deep. He does have the cooldown. He does have the Satanic as well. Is the Satanic going to be enough to heal him up here? No, not enough, as Remedy does use his stun in time. It's going to be enough for him to escape. Evo does get the kill onto Skippy as well, and that's going to be enough for All or Nothing to stop their siege, but they did get exactly what they wanted. They did get the mega creeps.
This sustains, good remains.
And not quite ending the game yet, but very good for the side of All or Nothing, getting that Rax. Still though, it is a pretty close game despite what it might seem like, because it's only a 9k net worth lead for the side of All or Nothing, since this Templar Assassin has been farming like an absolute truck. Buybacks on the side of Evo. They do have the Templar Assassin and the Shadow Demon buyback now. And Nyx Assassin is going to have his buyback pretty soon. 3 more seconds and 150 more gold, and he'll have his buyback. Shadow Demon, a pretty strong support for being able to kill off these mega creeps. He does have the plus 25 shadow poison damage, so he just gets the stacks off and kills the mega creeps. Templar Assassin with his Psy Blades also pretty strong against the mega creeps. Kyo running towards Evo's jungle though. Seems like he wants to be aggressive, or at least farm their jungle, make sure that they get as little farm as possible. And that's going to be Skihound rage pinging onto Kyo, maybe thinking he's a little bit too deep there. And Templar Assassin now does have the Boots of Travel instead of the Power Threads, which means it's actually going to do less damage in this fight, which I think might actually not be worth it. Maybe he should have still kept the Power Threads and just swapped in the Teleportation Boots when he needed it, because he has more than enough surplus to be able to do that. To be honest, he can get a Sanja and Yasha instead of his boots as well, which will give him that movement speed.
Radiant's bottom shrine
has fallen.
as well as the stats that he wants. And now middle lane, it seems like All or Nothing are pushing towards this middle lane. Remedy and Skihound both waiting in the back line using Monkey King as a siege tool. And All or Nothing wants to end it now. They know they have more buybacks than the side of Evo Esports, except for the Night Stalker buyback. They have all of them, so this could be a successful push for the side of All or Nothing, and it could at least force out the last few buybacks for the side of Evo Esports, opting not to wait for the next Roshan. Monkey King does have quite a lot of buyback surplus now. He could be looking towards his next item. Maybe it's going to be the Abyssal Blade. Also, same for Tiny, 2000 surplus. Could also be looking towards maybe a consumed Moonshard. Maybe just a normal Moonshard instead of the Echo Saber. Everyone on All or Nothing looking really rich at the moment. Even the Winter Wyvern with 2.6k gold. And the Outer Titan with 2.5k gold on top of his Guardian Greaves and Rod of Atos. While the supports for Evo, I mean Shadow Demon, he has pretty much an Ether Lens and that's it. Nyx Assassin also almost has his Aghanim Scepter though. That should help them with the high ground defense.
Radiant are scanning.
And at the moment it seems like All or Nothing are just pushing out all the lanes that they can. They just want to keep these lanes pushed out, maybe wait for Evo to make a mistake or wait for the next Roshan. At the moment all they're doing is they are just extending their net worth lead, as they do not have as much of a net worth lead as you might expect with full megas, only 10k net worth lead. So maybe just extending it a little bit, trying to get some more items onto the support of All or Nothing, or even onto the carries of All or Nothing. Could also be waiting for Roshan. That's gonna be, I think, 2 more minutes for the next, until the next Rosh is up. Evo, if All or Nothing decides to Rosh, they are gonna want to push out the lanes to be able to contest Roshan. The Outer Titan is looking towards Roshan, seeing that he hasn't respawned yet. Gyrocopter, meanwhile, in the middle lane, he does have that Satanic and he does have the Divine Rapier queued up. I think that is the right choice here, as it is pretty much All or Nothing now for the side of Evo Esports. They have to go all in. AoN going onto the high ground now, using Kyo as a siege tool. Skihound is going to get a sleep onto the center War Runner, which is going to make some space for now. Baron Biceps does use his ultimate and is starting to go onto D2 with his Blade Mail. D2 dropping pretty low here, and that's going to be Outer Titan ultimate onto 2, a sleep onto Gyrocopter as well, and that's going to be a kill for Tiny onto Massa. And this is just buybacks coming in everywhere. Kyo does use his Wukong's command finally with the BKB and the extra ring. And that's going to be an ultra kill for Remedy in the backlines, getting everyone. And that should be GG called, as there's only 3 heroes alive for the side of Evo. D2 trying his very best to defend here, but he does not have the buyback. So I don't think he's going to be able here. Fireheart going onto Kyo. And that's a rampage onto Remedy, getting all the kills in the backline somehow. Does get all the kills in the backline. I wasn't even spectating him. He was just... GG is called, and that's a very long game. First game of All or Nothing versus Evo. This is a best of 3, so that's just the first game of the best of 3. And very well played there. Very good final push there from the side of All or Nothing, securing the win. Let's have a look at the net worth graphs. We will see that, or just the damage out first. It seems like Remedy did do the most damage, and that Kyo with his Wukong's command also quite a lot of damage, 36k damage. And on the side of Evo Esports, that Gyrocopter with his flak cannon did 46k damage. Also D2 with all the farm he got did 35k damage. If we have a look at this Team XP and net worth, you'll see this game was full of ups and downs. At first it was all or nothing leading, but then Evo Esports did manage to bring it back quite a bit, especially regarding XP. Just as Evo was leading, all or nothing did manage to pull it back, and from there on forward it was all or nothing's game all round. Okay, I have to create the second lobby now for them to join. I'm just gonna have a 10-minute break. Thank you for watching the first game. Okay, I'll be right back.
Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick.
Enchantress.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Ogre Magi!
10 seconds remaining.
Of course, my mic was muted for the stream, but it is unmuted again now.
Dusk.
Tusk, second pick for all or nothing. Extremely strong Roman, extremely strong to be able to save Euros with that snowball. Also has a good early game. So that pretty much ensures, in my opinion, that it's going to be a pos 3 Ogre Magi, because the Tusk did is usually a pos 4, and you really don't want to play Ogre Magi as a pos 5 usually, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a pos 3 Ogre Magi. Could still be pos 5 though. The Dire taking their time here. I mean, Evo Esports taking their time with the second pick. Second pick is gonna be a Jakiro. I see teams go a lot for the bait picks nowadays, where you are not sure exactly what position they are gonna play. Is it gonna be a pos 4 Enchantress? Is it going to be a pos 5 or 3 Enchantress? Is it going to be a support or offlane Jakiro? Is it even going to be a mid Jakiro? You literally do not know nowadays. Even with the Ogre Magi, you don't know if it's going to be pos 5 or pos 4 or pos 3. Making enemies extremely difficult to read, and also makes your lineup very adaptive.
Dire team ban.
All or nothing bans the Slark again. They really don't like the Slark. Previous game they did ban Slark, and I think it's because they had so many tanky Euros. They did have the Outer Titan, they did have the Night Stalker. What else did they have? They had pretty much only melee Euros. So Slark, very good against the tanky lineups that All or Nothing likes to go for. Again, the two supports for All or Nothing so far. Really tanky supports, Ogre Magi and Tusk. Have you seen Tusk's talent tree? It's Absolutely ridiculous. Plus 350 health. Okay, never mind. They removed the armor. He used to get armor as well. He used to be so tanky through his talent tree. Still though, a tanky hero, a strength hero. And now it seems like Evo Esports taking their time a little bit with this ban. Running pretty deep into the reserve time now.
Radiant team ban. Radiant team pick.
Do ban the Juggernauts side of Evo Esports. I know Keo likes playing Juggernaut, and pretty strong hero if you don't have any spells that go through magic immunity. Also, or nothing bans the Naga Siren this game. And that's a third pick Lifestealer from AoN. Lifestealer, pretty decent against the Enchantress. The magic immunity allows him to attack through the Untouchable. Also against the Jakiro, of course, since all of his spells are magic damage. And Jakiro is quite a tanky hero as well, so Lifestealer would even lifesteal quite a bit from that hero.
5 seconds remaining.
Again, running into the reserve time from Evo Esports. Really not certain what to pick here. Maybe they wanted to pick the Lifestealer. But it's going to be a Clockwork. Clockwork, not exactly good against Tusk or Lifestealer. I'm not feeling that pick at all. They did run pretty deep into the reserve time though, so maybe they felt they have to do something like that. But Tusk half of the time can just snowball out of the cogs from Clockwork, and he can bring anyone with him as well. And Lifestealer magic immunity hits the cogs twice and he's out of there. Also Clockwork, pretty tanky hero, so Lifestealer is going to take advantage of that. All or nothing now. They are going to probably pick a... I still think it's a pos 3 Ogre Magi, so they should probably pick a pos 5 now. I'm gonna guess Winter Wyvern again. Winter Wyvern, they could even go for the Oracle. Dazzle is decent. Or if they want even more knockdown, which I don't think they do, they can go for the Lion. But I think they'll probably go for a hero that has healing or damage. They don't really require any more lockdown here. Running really deep into the reserve time now. I don't know if they wanted to pick Juggernauts or the Warlock maybe. I'm pretty sure they would have picked Warlock if they were able to. Skippy plays Warlock.
Dire team pick.
Batrider, okay, so that is gonna be a... Man, I don't know anymore. Who's gonna be pos 5 here? Who's gonna be pos 3? Okay, all or nothing, making it really difficult for me to read exactly what they are gonna do. I'm gonna still guess... Is it gonna be a pos 5 Batrider? Or is it gonna be a tri-lane actually?
10 seconds.
It could be a tri-lane with the Batrider and the Lifestealer and the Tusk. Because as far as I know, neither Batrider nor Tusk can really play pos 5. They are too greedy supports. Maybe Maybe it's going to be a Bat Rider offlane and it is going to be a POS 5 Ogre Magi with a POS 4 Tusk. I think that's what's going to happen. Phantom Lancer pick for Evo Esports. Usually a hero you'd pick last, as it's a hero that can get counted quite a bit. Maybe Evo Esports, they do still have a ban available and they know that All or Nothing has to pick a mid hero now. And there's not a lot of mid heroes that do counter Phantom Lancer, so they'll probably just ban the Ember Spirit. Tiny is pretty decent against Phantom Lancer, but not really. I think Ember Spirit's the only proper pick you can get against him, and I'm pretty sure Evo is just gonna ban it out. AoN running into the reserve time now with the ban, with the 5th ban. They do ban the Lina. Lina extremely strong in lane, does have a lot of harassment, doesn't allow you to get close at all, especially if you're not playing a very far range hero. And 5th ban for Evo Esports, it should be the Ember Spirit ban, and if it's not, it's gonna be the Ember Spirit pick from All or Nothing.
Dire team pick.
Okay, so they do ban the Wind Ranger actually, and they do pick Outward Devourer. Okay, no intelligence heroes except for the Bat Rider on All or Nothing so far. So OD pretty strong pick this game, and All or Nothing is gonna have quite a task ahead of them finding a hero that can be good against Outward Devourer and Phantom Lancer. So yeah, because both those heroes pretty much aren't counted. Lifestealer is pretty decent against the Outward Devourer, so they might just try and pick a hero now that can lane against OD and not, and at the same time counter Phantom Lancer. Do you think
You may now select your
they do pick Leshrac? Leshrac is a decent pick. It does combo quite well with the mid ganks from Tusk. Ooh, it's gonna be Skippy on the Tusk. Maybe this is a... I have no idea what this lineup is. It is gonna be a POS 5 Tusk, I think. Because Skippy usually plays POS 5. Skihound usually plays POS 4. Not sure what to think about this lineup. I don't know what it is, to be honest. Man, now I have to guess which lineup is gonna be stronger this game. I don't even know how one of them will play out. Okay, OD mid should be a little bit of a OD matchup mid. He should win that lane. Phantom Lancer. I'm gonna have to go with Evo Esports for this game because I don't think All or Nothing has a good answer for the Phantom Lancer. But still, it's really difficult for me to decide which team is stronger this game. But I'm gonna go with Evo for this game.
That was skill, alright.
Pure skill.
That was skill,
prepare
alright.
for battle.
Pure skill.
All or Nothing immediately groups up as 4. Tusk does have his tag team ready. Should help them get the first blood. Really strong level 1 spell. Evo taking a little bit more of a standard approach in, you know, just going towards the runes. D2 is going to place a mid ward again from the shadows just so they don't spot it out. Ooh, and All or Nothing, really close. This might break the smoke. Barely doesn't break the smoke. If that broke the smoke, it would have been pretty bad for All or Nothing, as they would have spotted out. As Outward Devourer would have spotted them out and all their plans would have been ruined. Massa, meanwhile, really wise to what All or Nothing are doing, since look at where he is. They don't know what to do at all. Look at all these pings coming through. Purple pings, that's Bat Rider. No one on Evo knows where All or Nothing are at the moment, and one of them's gonna start to have to go to this rune, the bottom rune, if they want to contest it. All or Nothing does have Baron Biceps at the top rune though, and Massa might get caught out here. That's gonna be Bat Rider getting one stack onto Massa. Skippy is trying to cut off Massa, but Massa is going to be able to fall back to the tower, so that smoke gank doesn't work. Remedy now has to place an Observer Ward, but Outward Devourer will probably... I think he might have seen him place the ward if he was awake there, which maybe he didn't quite spot it out.
I'll take that.
Middle lane, AoN and Skippy, what are you doing? It's two of them already in the mid lane, and the pool... Okay, the wave is gonna start pushing towards Remedy now, and it seems like they just want AoN to go to the top lane to help the Ogre Magi against this Bambi lane. And it's gonna be a tri-lane bottom for the side of Evo Esports, Shakiro, Clockwork and Tatsu. So it's not an off-lane Clockwork, it's an off-lane Enchantress. Okay, top lane, Ski Hound on this Batrider. He does have the Observer Ward available. He might try and place it aggressively so they can try and kill Fire Heart in this lane. Massa does get mass pinged in this bottom jungle, and it seems like Leshrak is more than aware that Massa wants to gank this lane. All Massa has is the Battery Assault, but maybe all he wants to do is chase off Remedy a little bit. No, it does actually seem like he just wants to rotate towards the top lane so he can lane along with Ski Hound. Ski Hound is going to cut off Massa though, and Massa and Ski Hound are going to have a little bit of a brawl here though. So bottom lane, Phantom Lancer does die to the dual lane of All or Nothing. Skippy gets the first blood. And the brawl between Batrider and Massa seems like it is going towards Batrider's way with that stacks onto the Clockwork. Clockwork, 6 stacks now. These hits should be really strong from the Batrider. Batrider does hit him, but actually not doing as much damage as you might expect it to. Ogre Magi in the top lane does have quite a lot of HP regeneration. The HP regeneration is going to keep him in this lane. And now Tatsu, as the Phantom Lancer, is in the top lane. He decided he doesn't want anything to do with that Tusk. And Skihound is going to be able... Ooh, that's going to be a deny from APK on the regeneration rune. A taunt comes through as he denies the rune. But Skippy does have his E available, and that's going to be enough to drop APK really low here. They do have the Orb of Venom as well. Here comes Massa. All the supports fighting it out here, and Skippy dropping really low. One more hit should do it, but they do kill APK before he can get another hit in. And now the mid laner is here as well. Everyone's brawling, everyone's part of this, even Remedy. And Remedy, he does get the kill at least, so they do get the kill on the mid laner that did rotate there. Remedy, an extremely aggressive mid laner, actually rotating to help them there. Not something you'd usually see from a mid laner. Bottom lane, Skihound is irritating Fireheart now, so both lanes, it seems like they had to rotate their lanes on the side of Evo. Jakiro had to go top, Tatsu had to go top, Bambi bottom now, and very well played from All or Nothing, selecting their lanes in such a way that Evo is forced to rotate all of their lanes. And last hits denies. It seems like Kyo is doing really well so far this game in that dual lane, where he also got an assist on a kill. 21 last hits so far, followed by the Outward Devourers, 15 last hits. Batrider still has that aggressive ward, but APK does have a sentry ward, so they might de-ward it now. APK trying to go for that pull. It actually just went for the stack. He does get the stack off. Now 3 euros for the side of Evo Esports in this top lane. They might try to aggress on Skihound, but Skihound spots them out in time. And Tusk does have the role. He does have the tag team as well, so maybe they do aggress back onto Evo. APK, 2 stacks of
Double damage.
Of ink on him, of sticky napalm on him. And bottom lane now, Kyo does seem to be struggling quite a bit more now that he's a solo laner against the Bambi. Bambi just harassing him quite a bit, and still Kyo is last hitting quite effectively. Top lane, Baron Biceps is going to get trapped in, as well as Skippy. Skippy does roll both of them out. There's the counter against the Clockwork, and that's going to be both of them escaping. Well played there from Skippy. Skihound does have 4 stacks onto APK. They do kill APK. Skihound, huge damage onto Tatsu as well. Even tower diving, taking some tower damage there. And now Tatsu seems like he does want to re-engage. He does have the self to be able to. Decides not to. And Tatsu does use his salve. He does deem it safe to do so now. Since Ogre Magi doesn't have any mana, he's gonna have 2 mangoes flying in shortly though. Ski Hound does have the clarity on him, but both him and Skippy and Ogre Magi are pretty low now, so they're gonna have to. Okay, they do get the shrine. This is a very effective shrine. Middle lane, Remedy aggressive onto D2. He doesn't have mana anymore, so D2 is going to escape. Massa assures that his mid laner does survive there, but Remedy clear in his intentions that he does want to kill this outward Devourer mid. He does not want to share the lane. He wants to dominate the lane. Top lane, Baron Biceps does sneak up onto Tatsu's Phantom Lancer. Phantom Lancer is a little bit out of position here. 2 stacks onto Piao. He does have the doppelganger though. He is going to use it to escape. He does use it to debuff the fire from Ogre Magi, but still Tatsu is having a really uncomfortable lane here. Ski Hound, it seems like he's constantly low HP but still getting quite a lot done with that health regeneration, and Phantom Lance is going to be back to where he wants to be with that salve. Baron Bicep forced to use his mango, and Kyo now is still last hitting, but look how low HP he is. He's struggling a little bit against this Bambi. He is going to have to jungle a little bit to try and get those last hits back. I mean, to get that health regeneration back. Top lane, Tatsu, not enough mana to use his first ability, to use his Spirit Lance. And Skion still just chilling around here with low HP. Does have 5.2 health regeneration on the Bat Rider though. Skippy, middle lane, does block in the outward Devourer. Defensive imprisonment is used. And that's going to be a Massa rotation forced as well, which means that the bottom lane isn't so strong anymore for the Bambi. Top lane, Baron Biceps does do quite a lot of damage with his first ability onto the Phantom Lancer. Skippy though, top lane, both him and Baron Biceps are quite low HP, I mean low mana. And Ski Hound finally does decide to go back to base. He picks up quite a lot of wards here. And Baron Biceps farming up that Hand of Midas now. The Hand of Midas multicast of course being extremely strong. And Baron Biceps doesn't seem to care about Tatsu, actually baiting him a little bit there as he does force Tatsu to use his doppelganger. That's going to be Baron Biceps dropping pretty low now. That's a Jakiro fire onto Baron Biceps. The stun is going to miss. Kyo rotation now onto Massa. Massa is dropping pretty low. Kyo is going to be able to survive though, but he's not going to get that kill. Bottom lane, it seems like Bambi is TPing out as well, and now Phantom Lancer is TPing towards the bot lane, so it seems like Phantom Lancer wants to take the solo lane against the Bat Rider. A lot of rotations going on this game with the lanes of Evo Esports. The ward spots are there so people don't stream snipe. Top lane, bottom lane, Tatsu dropping pretty low. That's going to be Ski Out extremely aggressive with his Bat Rider. Sticky Napalm is going to be enough for them to kill off the Phantom Lancer. And Massa rotation is not going to be enough this time with the Clockwork. They still dive even with the Clockwork rotation. D2 is doing quite well. 54 last hits to the 38 of Remedy. Remedy is forced to go back to base. Meanwhile, Skippy is going to take this experience in the middle lane. Ski Hound almost dies to the Jakiro, and now Jakiro wants to contest the rune that's going to spawn in 15 seconds from now. Baron Biceps also rotated to the bottom lane, and this is going to be 3 euros for the side of Evo converging onto Baron Biceps. If they get the cogs off, it's definitely a kill. Clockwork does get the cogs off as well as the battery assault, and that's going to be a kill onto Baron Biceps, and that's going to be the rune. This might be 4 runes for the side of Evo Esports. No, D2 does not decide to go for the other rune. So it's going to be 3 runes for Evo Esports as well as the kill onto the Ogre Magi. Really big stuff there from Evo. Skippy aggressing onto D2. D2 does have the double damage and 2 rotations coming in, so he needs to be careful. Look at all that damage onto Skippy. 3 hits should kill him, and that's going to be a kill onto Skippy. Skihound also maybe a little bit out of position. They are not expecting all that damage from the double damage on D2, and that's going to be a tip for D2 from the Jakiro.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Bottom lane, Tatsu is trying to push this tier 1 from all or nothing with all the space his team created for him and with the catapult that came in. Skippy does TP into the bottom lane. It seems like Tatsu is aware that something is happening and he does fall back for now. Baron Biceps immediately stuns the Phantom Lancer. They seem like they want to go on the PL. PL is not going to get his doppelganger off in time, but still he will survive. Still a lot of damage coming through onto the Phantom Lancer. Ping in the top lane. Seems like they want to go on this Bambi. Kyo does have the magic immunity to attack him through the untouchable aura. Kyo does use his ultimate for a little bit more damage. Leshrak, the magic damage does come through. The Yo is going to wear off now, and that's going to be a kill for AoN. 2 kills for AoN, in fact, as they do get the kill on Phantom Lancer and on Clockwork as well. Skippy now pretty low. Jakiro trying to burn him down. No mana for Skippy, and the infused raindrop is not going to be enough to let him survive there. 3 kills for the side of AoN, and now they want to pressure the top tier 1 tower.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Skihound should be taking this experience mid now, as Outward Devourer is ganking the top lane. Now OD top, Massa, he does use the hook shot onto Remedy. Huge hook shot as they are going to get the kill on the mid laner, and Kyo does get the tower. Fortunately almost got denied there. Kyo does have the BKB, but he does not have the TP out, so this is going to be him just trying to run away. He does have phase boot, does give him a little bit of move speed for now, and I think he should be able to escape here, except if maybe Enchantress gets his slow off. Kyo does manage to escape for now. Evo needs to be careful as they don't know where the AoN rotations are going to be. Tatsu, bottom lane, dropping pretty low. He is actually going to go on Skihound though, and Skihound really low there. Jakiro is going to get stunned up by Baron Biceps. Baron Biceps pretty low, so he leaves Skippy to his own avail. D2 is going to aggress onto the Tusk. Snowball onto D2. Remedy is here as well now. He does have his ultimate. He is going to use the ultimate onto Tatsu. And D2 defensive imprisonment. He is going to drop the hammer. That's going to be a kill onto Baron Biceps at least. And Remedy also dropping pretty low. That's 2 kills for D2. And a buyback from the Ogre Magi. And that's going to be flame tips on the Ogre Magi. Ogre Magi thinking the fight was going to last a little bit longer than it did there.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Somehow Outward Devourer, the glass cannon hero, managing to kill everyone there before they could kill him. Just out damages them. That level 4 arcane orb doing so much damage and helping him farm so much as well.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
APK does de-ward the ward from All or Nothing, so no more aggressive wards for All or Nothing. Oh, they do actually still have this ward somehow. Top lane, Remedy and Fireheart exchanging damage a little bit. Exchanging sides here, and Remedy somehow gets the stun without even having to slow first, and this is going to be Fireheart bursted down. They should leave the kill here for Remedy, and Remedy is going to get the kill. Baron Biceps in the bottom lane. There is 2 heroes around him, and Shakiro also rotating in. And middle lane, Kyo is being aggressive onto the Outward Devourer. OD does use the defensive imprisonment onto Kyo to manage to escape there. Bottom lane, Baron Biceps does get a multicast off onto the Phantom Lancer, and that's going to be a pick off onto PL. Maybe he needs to tip the PL instead. And Kyo is rotating in as well now. He wants to go on Massa, but APK is right behind him, and APK does have the Ice Wall ready. He has all of his spells ready, and Kyo Keo is going to have to be careful for the time being, as 3 heroes are in the bottom lane now for Evo Esports. Both teams do get 2 bounty runes now.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Middle lane, Ski Hound is gonna be harassed by the Jakiro, but not quite out of position enough for them to kill him off.
Your doom be averted.
Bottom lane, Keo pushing with the catapult here. That's gonna force Evo to use a glyph of fortification, and Keo is going to get back for now with that outward devourer TP that came in. Middle lane, it seems like both teams are grouping up a little bit towards this middle lane.
Illusion.
And Remedy trying to catch up with the farm of the outward devourer. He does have quite a lot of kills, so I do think they do have similar net worth. Odie is leading, but only by a bit. Now, Lifestealer is ahead of the pack with net worth.
Radiant are scanning.
Middle lane, it seems like Evo are grouping up towards this lane. That's 4 heroes for the side of Evo in this lane, and they want to push that tower. They did ping it out. They don't have a catapult though, so that is going to make it a little bit more difficult. Still, no one for the side of All or Nothing contesting this. They just want to trade tier 1 mid for tier 1 bot, which is not worth it, but the middle tower for them was pretty low, so they do decide to give it up. And it seems like All or Nothing are going to be able to get this bottom tier 1 tower, so at least they do get something in return.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Top lane though, it seems like Evo want to push this tower next, as this tower is pretty low, and they do de-ward All or Nothing as well on the high ground. And Phantom Lancer seems like he will be able to get this tower with his illusions. All or Nothing does decide to use the glyph of fortification, so he's not going to get the tower for the time being. Fireheart is in behind the backlines of All or Nothing. He is going to have to TP out though. Middle lane, Remedy, very deep. He does have your scepter for now to keep him alive. D2 does do a lot of damage with his orb. Remedy still trying to run away, but that's going to be the Enchantress doing too much damage, and that's going to be a kill for Fireheart onto Remedy. Also, Outward Devourer does get a kill onto Ski Hound as well. Massa, hookshot, missing. Skippy is going to survive. That's going to be a flame tip onto Massa. At least it's from his teammate, so it's in good spirits. Baron Biceps almost out of position there. He does manage to escape. D2 with his Blink Dagger reveal gets 2 kills.
Radiant's middle tower.
Top laner Evo is going to take this tower finally, and that's going to be a tier 1 top for the side of Evo Gaming. All or Nothing still has this tier 1 bot though, so they do still have quite a bit of jungle control, and Remedy is going to use that control to be able to farm in this bottom jungle. Skippy now does have to use the ice shard defensively, and I think he is just going to die here as there's an ice wall on him as well. Skippy trying to use his ultimate in time, not going to be able to use it. That's a Batrider ultimate onto D2 and a multicast stun onto D2 as well. Odie might be dead here. Massa does try to save him by using that aggressive bat power cogs. And Keo also dropping pretty low. They do get the kill onto Keo as well, and Outward Devourer escapes, so somehow that fight goes towards the side of Evo Esports. All while Tatsu is pushing the top tier 2 as well, so almost going the way of All or Nothing, and Ski Hound's gonna fall as well. That's a triple kill for Fireheart. They didn't ban the Enchantress this time, and they are paying for it. D2 does blink onto the Ogre Magi. Ogre Magi now out of position, and that's gonna be too much damage with Fireheart and D2 onto Ogre Magi, but Ogre Magi does get saved by the ice shards of Tusk. Well played there by Tusk. But still though, All or Nothing, all of this is for nothing, because Tatsu is pushing the top Tier 3. What role is Clockwork playing? I think he's playing Pos 4. I think he's playing Pos 4 and it's Pos 5 Chikiro.
Haste.
Yeah, it's a Pos 4 Clockwork. And now, Evo Esports taking a little bit of control over this game. They still don't have that tier 1 bottom though, so All or Nothing does have a lot of jungle to work with still. But it seems like Evo do want to go onto Kyo in this bottom lane. Kyo does manage to juke them out. Does manage to not walk into them rather. And now it seems like all 5 heroes for the side of Evo all grouping up towards this bottom lane, realizing that is something they do need now. And they do ping out Kyo as well. If they hit this hook shot, never mind. Kyo does manage to fall back in time, and that's going to be a tier 1 bottom for the side of Evo. Now they have all the tier 1s, they have a tier 2, and they're pinging the second tower here. They want to get the second tier 2. From their point of view, they can get the second tier 2. They believe they are stronger than All or Nothing at the moment, and it's going to be enough for them to get 2 towers here. Look at Massa. He is trying to scout out the players from All or Nothing. He is playing really aggressively, and Kyo might walk into it. He is smart enough to not go up to the high ground there, but Evo is going to be able to get this tier 2 bottom. They are just steamrolling this bottom lane, and it is gonna work for them. Skippy is going to take the invisibility rune. He might try and see what he can do with this. There is a sentry ward on Massa though, so he needs to be careful. Maybe they want to go onto this Tatsu in the top lane. They do have an invisibility on Skippy, but it's only Skippy and Ski Hound. Is it going to be enough to kill them? Ski Hound is pinging it out. He really wants this kill. Skippy does have the invisibility. Is he going to be able to do enough damage here though? This Phantom Lancer is pretty tanky, and he does have the Mantis Tower as well. Remedy is here as well now, and that's going to be enough for Tatsu to fall back. But Evo Esports are rotating in towards the top lane. Massa not deciding to engage there quite yet, but that could have been pretty scary for the side of All or Nothing. Baron Biceps does get the multicast with his Ignite.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Rock it on.
Clockwork, bottom lane, he is looking towards Kyo. Kyo does have the Midas available, so his Midas efficiency is going to go down a bit now, but he has to escape as 3 heroes are converging onto him. The scan isn't going to hit. He's not going to use the BKB TP, and that could have been pretty scary for him, but he does manage to TP out barely in the nick of time. And Remedy just bathing between all the wards of Evo Esports at the moment, and Evo Esports do see where Remedy is at the moment. Remedy does manage to back off also right in the nick of time here. They are really struggling to find farm over the map, and it's All or Nothing on the back foot now, trying their best to find farm wherever they can, but it's not something that's easy for them at the moment at all, as they keep almost dying just by farming. Batrider really wants to be aggressive with this Arcane Rune. They do spot out Mata, I think. A lot of pings coming through, and that's going to be an Ogre Magi TP as well onto the ward, and Mata is going to get stunned up, and that's going to be a chain stun, and it's going to be more than enough to kill the Clockwork. So, good rotations there from the side of All or Nothing, getting something getting a little bit of the map control back that Evo has taken from them, and now they really would want to deward these wards from Evo Esports, as it's giving them so much information. And D2 seems like he is going to be able to catch off Skippy. He does have the blink dagger. Oh, and the snowball does create a little bit of space for Skippy. Skippy does not have the blink dagger though, so it's not going to be enough for him to escape, but does delay it a little bit there. 4 euros now for the side of Evo Esports. 3 euros, sorry, in the bottom lane. Keo does have the Radiance to counter out Tatsu a little bit. Middle lane, seems like Evo Esports do want to push this middle lane. They do want to press the advantage, and that's going to be a Yule Scepter used defensively by Remedy. Remedy re-engaging onto Fireheart. Now Fireheart needs to be careful, but he does have the Force Staff to be able to escape there, as well as the Pipe of Insight. That's going to be a multicast onto Phantom Lancer. They want to try and go on Phantom Lancer here, but Phantom Lancer does have the defensive Doppelganger, and Fireheart is going to try to damage Keo there, but he is going to evade it. Still, Evo Esports looks to be pushing this lane at the moment. Middle tier 2 will fall, and or nothing can't do anything about it. They tried to defend it, but it wasn't enough to kill any of them off. This Phantom Lancer is simply too tanky. Okay, and a pause does come through. It seems like Keo does disconnect. Probably some technical difficulties, and it seems like Enchantress as well as Chikiro also disconnecting from the game at the moment. Keo, he does have a new item up. He does have that Heaven's Halberd, which is going to be pretty strong against the Outward Devourer, since Outward Devourer is not rushing a BKB, which means they can disable him from a fight for at least a couple of seconds, at least 5 seconds. What is the power spike for All or Nothing going to be? I don't know if the Heaven's Halberd is going to be what they need to be able to win a fight. I don't even know if the Kaya on Leshrak, I don't see any items they can go now. They probably just have to take a good fight. If they take a good fight, they can win it. But I don't think there's a specific item or couple of items that's going to give them the power spike to be able to. Okay, I'll remove the image. It's probably not necessary to have an image and a... There we go. Okay, you can see the map now. Are you happy? But when it's paused, I'm gonna turn it on. Because if it's paused, then the 2-minute delay really doesn't matter. Skippy, they do catch Fireheart here, but Fireheart does have a lot of backup. Phantom Lancer, Outward Devourer, all of them are tipping in. That's going to be a macro pyre onto 3. Snowball, huge snowball with 3 people there. That means All or Nothing is going to be out of position, and that's going to be a 3-person trap from Clockwork. All or Nothing, Keo is going to go onto Massa, and they are going to be able to kill Massa, but Keo is dropping pretty low now, and he also has to use his Midas. Fireheart almost dies. He was the first hero that was went on, but still, somehow, he survives that entire fight, does the Bambi. Top lane. Remedy does manage to TP out though. And you can see the desperation from All or Nothing. 3 people in a snowball, and then getting power cogsed.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Phantom Lancer top lane is going to be able to pick down this tower quite a bit, and they might be able to push it even further. Skippy did buy back though. Baron Biceps has to be careful, but they do go onto Fireheart. Maybe Fireheart needs to be careful as he is going to be defensively imprisoned, and that's going to be enough for him to escape along with the 4-staff. Top lane, Ogre Major does get the stun onto Tatsu. Not going to really do a lot of damage as Tatsu does have a ridiculous amount of HP at the moment with that Heart of Taraz and the Manta style.
Dire's middle
And this
tower
is such a weird game because it seems like All or Nothing was just simply outdrafted. Because as far as I know, Evo shouldn't be winning as far as they are at the moment, considering the net worth situation. But this Phantom Lancer is doing so much work actually.
Incoming.
Radiant are scanning.
And that's going to be a scan from All or Nothing. Evo Esports aren't rushing quite yet. And Skippy thinks there's a ward on the high ground there. And that's going to be a crowd groan from Jakiro for some reason.
And it's off.
And Outward Devourer finally queuing up his BKB. When he gets that BKB, that will definitely be a power spike for Evo Esports, as is already so scary, and the only way All or Nothing can kill them now is, well, if he doesn't have a BKB.
Dire are scanning.
And Tatsu is just being such a big nuisance for All or Nothing. He's pushing out the bottom lane, and it just keeps being an irritation. Top lane though, they do get the Batrider ultimate off onto the Bambi. Bambi does not have buyback, and they might kill Outward Devourer here as well. That's a huge rotation from the side of All or Nothing, playing it extremely aggressively, and the desperation factor finally is enough for them to be able to get 2 kills there. Very nice play there. I think they did use Smoke of the Sea to get 2 kills, and that's going to be Tatsu TPing out. Even that TP was pretty risky because he didn't know if All or Nothing has a ward here or not. And top lane Tatsu tries to go on Batrider, but Batrider is going to be able to blink TP out. Middle lane, Remedy is pretty deep. This Massa is pretty close with his hook shot maybe. Remedy knows exactly when to get back, and he is going to be able to get that farm as well as get back. Phantom Lancer just farming up even more, trying to extend his net with lead by more than it already is, but Kyo with his Hand of Midas and Radiance is keeping up quite decently. He does have the Maelstrom now as well, so that's going to be a Radiance and a Maelstrom for the Phantom Lancer. Meaning that Phantom Lancer is getting countered quite a bit now by the itemization of the Lifestealer also. Maelstrom is just a good item current patch, even if it's not against a Phantom Lancer.
Rock it on.
Middle lane, it seems like Evo Esports is going to use the Smoke of the Sea to maybe go either for Roche or to try and get a pick off here onto Skihound. Skihound out of position here. He does use the Blink Dagger, and that's going to be enough for him to be able to escape and spot out the smoke from Evo Esports. That's going to be a cue for the rest of All or Nothing to get back now, as they do know that Evo Esports are still under smoke. Kyo might be baiting here a little bit as he does go pretty deep, but he does know his entire team is behind him. So that might be a little bit of a bait attempt from Kyo. Skippy does use a defensive ice charge to block out Evo Esports. Phantom Lancer is farming even further, taking now the triangle away from All or Nothing. So Evo Esports has complete control over All or Nothing's triangle at the moment. And they'll probably try... Never mind. All or Nothing smokes up. They want to be aggressive onto this Outward Devourer. They know exactly who they want to kill first, and that's going to be Batrider. He's going to get this latch onto the Outward Devourer, and he does manage to get off the defensive Astral Imprisonment in time, but still Outward Devourer is going to die without his BKB. Massa and Fireheart now also out of position. They do get the kill onto the Jakiro, and now Fireheart is getting blocked by Skion. Extremely good block here from Skion, and that's going to be enough for them to kill off the Bambi as well. Massa has to get back. He is forced to get back, and now All or Nothing are looking towards Roche. They don't have a lot of Roche potential without this lifestealer though, so I don't exactly know if they can do this. They are trying though. They definitely are trying. Still, Kyo, he can't help them because Phantom Lance is going to push in this bottom lane. He's not in the position to help them Roche. Maybe this Roche call from All or Nothing, I don't know. Maybe it's a good call, maybe it's not. It seems like they are gonna... Yeah, they do decide to back off eventually, not having enough Roche heroes there without Kyo. Kyo is going to be aggressive onto Tatsu. Tatsu does take quite a lot of damage from the lifestealer. He does have the heart, so he's just going to regenerate back up. Even TP's back to base. Ski Hound will reward the ward of Evo Esports and place a Roche ward of his own. Evo Esports would have seen him place that ward last second with the ward of their own. And now both teams are grouping up quite a bit. Evo Esports especially grouping up towards this Roshan area. And they see Roshan is pretty low, and maybe that's going to help them just take Roshan and feel more confident to go for this fight. D2 is waiting outside the pit with his Scythe of Vice available. And Tatsu is just taking Roche at the moment with all his illusions. And that's going to be All or Nothing playing aggressive. They want to contest this Roche. Kyo runs straight in, and that's going to be a hook shot onto two people all blocked in, and that's going to be Odie dropping the hammer. That's not going to be any kill for now. Skippy does drop pretty low, and that's a kill onto the Tusk. Remedy in between all of them. He does have the BKB as well as his ultimate. Who's going to get the Aegis? That's going to be Aegis snatched by D2, but D2 might fall twice here, as that's a buyback from Phantom Lancer. Bambi is going to die here. D2 maybe out of position here. They are going to kill him twice. I think that's going to be a defensive Astral Imprisonment for now, and he does have the Blink Dagger as well. The Blink Dagger is going to be enough for him to be able to blink out for now. That Blink has done so much work for Outward Devourer, letting him escape in situations where he really shouldn't be over and over again, and it doesn't seem like All or Nothing has anything they can do against it. Very interesting Roche fight there. I'm not exactly sure who won it, and I can't see the fight recap either, so I'm gonna say it was pretty even. Tatsu did use buyback. Who used buyback? Tatsu used buyback. I think Jakiro used buyback, so maybe it was in the favor of All or Nothing there. Let's have a look. Okay. Yeah, that fight was in the favor of All or Nothing, since the side of Evo did use 2 buybacks there, and it did actually end up being quite an even fight even with both buybacks. And now it calms down a bit after the huge Roche fight, both teams not knowing exactly what they want their next move to be with Roshan being down. And Kyo feeling pretty confident to push up pretty far in the middle lane. And Jakiro does use the Ice Wall. I think it's just to de-ward. And immediately AoN is going to de-ward the Jakiro right back. And now, Outward Devourer does want to go for his BKB. I still think it will be quite a big power spike for the side of Evo Esports, since that BKB would have done a lot of work for Evo the previous fight if they had it on the Outward Devourer. At the moment, AoN, they just go on OD first, and OD doesn't have a BKB, so he doesn't have any answer for that initiation. Still, even with the BKB, if Skiant gets a good latch off, he's not going to be able to get off his BKB in time, since Outward Devourer is not the tankiest of heroes. It's not squishy either though. And now Lifestealer does have his Miona as well, so even countering the Phantom Lancer even further with that Radiance Miona. Remedy does have the BKB, and it did do a lot of work for them that previous fight. That was actually a little bit of a power spike for the side of All or Nothing, getting that BKB on Remedy. At a time there, he did have the Kaya queued up, but then he decided to go for the BKB rather, and it definitely worked out quite a lot better for them. Baron Biceps does pause as Tusk disconnects, as well as Kia. Game crashed. Both teams are allowed a cumulative pause time of 10 minutes, so they are still well within the rules. Bambi also queuing up the BKB at the moment. Shakira going for that Glimmer Cape. I actually think that is going to be pretty huge for Evo Esports, as they don't have any inverse heroes, so no real reason for All or Nothing to be carrying Dust. As you can see at the moment, well, Batrider is actually carrying Dust, maybe in anticipation of a Glimmer Cape. Very meta from him. Clockwork. Yes, going for... what is that item? I'm not sure what Clockwork's going for at all. Oh, okay. I think it's going for... yeah, okay. Clockwork's going for the Lotus Orb. And then Outward Devourer. Obviously going for the BKB. He still needs 1,000 more surplus to get the BKB with his buyback, which is what I think he's going for. Lifestealer just got his Miona. He has 900 surplus, but he's pretty much where he wants to be in terms of items at the moment. And as you can see, Lifestealer is doing pretty well with the net worth. Still, Phantom Lancer, as you'd expect, is leading in the net worth, but it's still going to be Phantom Lancer with a lot more gold than Kia, or a little bit more gold. Phantom Lancer is queuing up the Lincoln Sphere now. He is sick and tired of that Batrider initiations, which is probably why he's getting the Lincoln Sphere. And it's also a pretty good Lincoln Sphere game, as All or Nothing doesn't have a lot of long range, low cooldown spells that they can use, or any that they can use to remove the Lincoln Sphere. They do have Lightning Storm and a couple of Ogre Magi abilities, but they have nothing like, you know, Rubik's Spell Steal or Bounty Hunter's Track or something like that. So it's a pretty decent Lincoln Sphere game. And the game is unpaused again. It seems like we are on the way. Tusk almost has his level 15. I think it's gonna go for the snowball damage, since I don't know, people just usually go for the snowball damage, and Enchantress isn't the tankiest of heroes by any means. So maybe that will help them quite a bit. But the bonus HP is actually really strong as well. Could go for that. That's going to be 2 bounty runes for both teams. Very important to keep an eye on the bounty runes and never give up all 4. And All or Nothing does have the net worth lead. More than a 6k overall net worth lead, and that's all due to them having a pos 3 that has a lot of farm, the Ogre Magi with the Hand of Midas. And these Hand of Midas is for all or nothing are really starting to have an insane impact for them now. It's pretty much solely the reason they do have the net worth lead, as that's a multicast Midas from Ogre Magi, and it was also a pretty early Midas from Keo's Lifestealer as well. Seems like Ogre Magi is queuing up the 4-staff, wanting to save his teammates a little bit. And that's going to be Phantom Lancer comfortably TPing out. And all 5 heroes for all or nothing are in this bottom section of the map at the moment, trying to hold hands as to not get picked off. This late into the game, every mistake is amplified 10 times more as it is in the beginning of the game. And both teams not wanting to show their hand, not wanting to be too aggressive here, or never mind, or nothing does group up for the smoke eventually, and that's going to be a scan onto the bottom jungle for Evo Esports, and they're going to blink onto Tatu. They're going to get the latch onto the Clockwork here, and that's going to be a dead Clockwork. Ultra Devourer does rotate in. They have to be careful. He does have his BKB now, but Shakiro, that's going to be a Clockwork buyback. Now Lifestealer dropping pretty low. He does get Hex up. Ultra Devourer does drop the hammer. That's going to be a kill for Ultra Devourer, and Remedy also still being really aggressive, but now he's out of position with the 2-man cogs from Clockwork, and that's going to be Remedy TPing out in time with his BKB at the very least, but maybe all or nothing overstaying their welcome a little bit there and almost gets Keyhound as well. So all or nothing, I like the fact that they want to go for that smoke play, but this area of the map is extremely dangerous, the enemy triangle, and it shows since they do lose that fight. Also the Hex onto the Lifestealer, not exactly expected from all or nothing, and that's going to be a dead Lifestealer, and this is going to mean Evo is going to try and force out a buyback. Skippy does respawn in 10 seconds though, so he shouldn't be using his buyback here, and it is a 4v3, almost a 4v4 now, so maybe all or nothing doesn't have to use a buyback here. Baron's trying his best to harass with his second ability, but it doesn't look like this Phantom Lance is taking any damage with that pipe of insight from the Enchantress. Phantom Lance is still pushing the bottom lane. They want to get this Melee Barracks. Melee Barracks does have 5 HP regeneration, remember, so probably should have rather attacked the ranged racks. And Evo, in their attempts to try and force out a buyback, they do get a tier 3 bottom lane. No racks for now though. But that is a tier 3, and it's not a single tier 2 for all or nothing so far this game. And that means that Evo Esports can destroy this shrine, give them even more map control, and that's exactly what they are gonna do. Second game so far is extremely close. Both teams just grouping up at the moment, not wanting to get picked off solo. Remedy is trying to bait a little bit here in the middle lane, but not gonna extend his bait too far, as Keo does not have a buyback. And I'd almost think all or nothing. Oh no, sorry, Keo does have a buyback. Everyone on AoN has a buyback. Everyone at the moment except Clockwork has a buyback this game, so expect the fights to last very long and to have a lot of buybacks Top lane, this Phantom Lancer is on his own. It's only going to be illusions here, but Skian, is he going to blink onto Tatu? Tatu is alone here, and Tatu, maybe a little bit out of position. He is going to be able to get his doppelganger off in time. That's a Lincoln Sphere down, and that's a stun onto Massa. Massa does get a hook shot. That's going to be a 4-man cogs, excuse me. And that's going to be Phantom Lancer buying back into the game. He wants to extend this fight, and I think All or Nothing are going to try and get back with that Phantom Lancer buyback forced. Evo, Fireheart, stuck on the high ground underneath the ward, and that's going to be another kill for All or Nothing. That's a little bit of a oopsie, and that's Baron Biceps tipping Fireheart. Both teams a little bit toxic this game, and it seems like the tips are coming through more than anything this game. And Phantom Lancer, he did buy back, but All or Nothing is going to most likely be able to get this Roche quite comfortably, as 3 heroes are alive for the side of Evo Esports. And All or Nothing, they do get the Aegis of Immortality on Kyo. Kyo does have the double damage as well. Evo trying their best to push out all the lanes, trying to stop All or Nothing from pushing too hard here, as Tatsu is pushing the bottom lane. An extremely difficult hero to kill, and I don't think Remedy alone is going to be enough to defend him here with that -6-second doppelganger cooldown. Honestly, I don't even know how All or Nothing managed to kill him with a -6-second doppelganger cooldown. And that's going to be middle lane, All or Nothing pushing the middle lane while Remedy is trying to stop the Phantom Lancer from being too aggressive. Kyo has so much lifesteal, he does so much evasion, he does have the Heaven's Halberd along with the Radiance, and All or Nothing, they do get stopped by the split push from Tatsu. Tatsu was being aggressive on the Leshrac. Leshrac is gonna rotate bottom onto Tatsu. Tatsu does have the -6-second doppelganger cooldown, so it's gonna be very difficult to kill here, but All or Nothing obviously definitely wants to kill him. And it seems like that Tatsu bottom lane push is gonna be more than enough for All or Nothing to fall back and not take a set of racks there. And now Bambi does have the buyback cooldown available, but might opt to go for the BKB first rather. There's an Arcane Rune available, strongest rune in the game. They do ping it out. It is going to be an Arcane Rune on Remedy, as Remedy does manage to snatch it before the Phantom Lancer is able to get it. And it seems like now, like All or Nothing want to play aggressive here, but they do infest underneath a ward, so Evo is just gonna be turtling on the high ground, as they do know All or Nothing is planning to do something devious here. All or Nothing looking towards the high ground. Remedy does have his BKB available and a cheese as well, and these racks are just melting at the moment. The Diabolic Edict level 25 talent from Leshrac absolutely destroys buildings. Plus 40 Diabolic Edict explosions. So I don't think it lasts longer, I just think the intervals are smaller. As you can see now, look at this racks just falling. And that's going to be Phantom Lancer. He does rotate back to the base, so they want to fight this Evo. Evo, they do get hexed onto the Clockwork. Clockwork is going to drop pretty low, and they do get the kill onto Clockwork. Alto Devourer does BKB up. He can drop the hammer. He is dropping pretty low, and he does use imprisonment onto Kyo. Evo, D2 is trying his best to escape here, and that's going to be Remedy getting the kill onto the Phantom Lancer there as well. And that's going to be OD dropping the hammer, but it's not going to do enough damage, as Outward Devourer is forced to buy back as well as Clockwork. Leshrak, top lane, is hexed up, but he is going to juke into the tree lines. And Lifestealer does use his Aegis of Immortality here, but he's just going to respawn and go back onto D2. D2 does have to use his imprisonment defensively. Is he going to be able to blink out in time? He's not going to blink out here, and that's going to be a kill onto D2 and onto Clockwork buyback as well. That's 2 buybacks down for the side of Evo Esports, and that's going to be Batrider catching the Bambi as well, and that's going to be a dead Bambi. Even Jakiro, they want to dive. Bambi is going to buy back, but I think this should be GG for all or nothing, as Keo is pushing the middle lane along with his teammates. That's going to be a disarm onto Bambi, rendering him useless, and that's GG called. Well played, all or nothing. You go to the semi-finals of AoN League.